poets say. They say we get free. You know, yeah, get free. I think even if you do a funny poem, you're getting free in a way, right? I heard poems literally about kitchen utensils, and that person is still getting free in some type of way. Like, it's expression, and you feel a different way when you're off the stage, you know, no matter how you perform it. So we always teach the youth in Philly, or we teach like people everywhere, no matter if you're taking a poetry class, like, always get free. And even if you're not a writer or a poet in your life, just don't be afraid to take those things that are bottled up inside of you, those things that are going on with you, and get free and let them go and tell your stories. Because I think that's the path to development, when you're afraid to let things go and tell stories. I'm a huge storyteller when it comes to my poetry. I have a lot of personal stuff. My poetry is my diary. A lot of people in Philly know my damn business. It's okay. So right here, this poem really helped me find myself once I was able to just admit the things that were going on between my mother and I. And as a woman, I've developed so much, and I really appreciate her for everything we've gone through, although with some BS. I love that woman, and this poem explains it. Y'all ready to go there? Yeah. Let's go there. So we laugh a lot. We laugh a lot and amuse each other only with a stare. We laugh about things that the average cat would not consider laugh-worthy. So if you consider in the fact that they say, if you can make each other laugh at least once a day, that's healthy, scratch that misconception. Because if my CD was in your collection, you would already know that comical relief often simmers down, boiling pots overflowing with frustrations like, bitch, get out of my kitchen. I want to utter words like that, but my soul keeps on ego tripping, making me step back and think about things. Like, this is your mother, and you only get one. But I'm like, don't be quick to rush to judgment, because she ain't rushed to my knees when I was getting antsy. Red stains on panties don't come from ketchup. Come on, Mom, catch up. Living in a day and age when HIV is like a tap etched on the backs of the youth. Maybe I should have tested positive. So open up your eyes as wide as the outstretch of your legs. You spit me out. I was just like you, a project pit stop for penetration. Not in my head to Mary J's real love, only reminding me of every back blow and period of molestation. Did I have yet to confess to you from my mouth? But I recited poems declaring my pain, and you have yet to ask me what any of those rhymes were about. That ain't real love, but that's all good, because my real mother already exists anyway. He wear black Timberland boots and know how to shoot a fadeaway, and your greatest error was leaving a man who had the capabilities to teach you how to be a real woman. Do you envy me because I am one? When a chip or two of my self-control, if not my soul, then my income. Riddle me this, how many fraudulent checks can you write on your daughter till you lose your self-respect? You made me want to nod my head to some Eminem hit. Like, I think the boy's hot, but it's hip-hop tip, but emotion didn't really matter to me until it chimed in that I could relate to the questioning of how can I be related to someone so sorry, and I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry. Did it strike you hard when I came about the closet? Like, that only made things worse. Like somebody dropping a coffin at the funeral. Call the coroner. My death be due to her absence, and I know it was an accident, so I still love you. And I step over the cracks in the concrete to protect your back with perfect practice. But if I die before you close your eyes, you better jump in my casket, cause one form from my soul is missing, and that's all you got left. Do the math. Perfect dividends with no remainder. Life reparations on order. Call the coroner. She was on when she did me over. I gave birth to her conscience through these words that remained invisible for too long because I still love you. Shit, mama, put the TV on. Let's laugh about something. Think of what grandma would say if she were here today. I'll be John Brown. That's what old folks say. Let's laugh at this and tear each word I just uttered and burn it to ashes. And let's step over the cracks in the concrete and protect that back with perfect practice. I'd rather see you walk with that crooked spine than break you down to your backless. Thank y'all so much.
So Waz and I are both educators and teaching artists, as well as performing artists. So we go into the schools a lot. Every school, from like the nicest school to like the most rundown school, you never know what you're gonna get. So I was teaching up in North Philly for the first time at the school, and I was like, I'm gonna do poetry. Like, what do y'all know about poetry? And they're like, poetry? Oh, man, what do you mean poetry? You mean like 50 Cent? And I was like, no, sweetheart. It's a little more complicated than that. And so I wrote this poem, dedicated it to them, because I was like, yo, poetry's like real cool. How many people write? We got writers up here, singers, this beautiful thing. You gotta start somewhere. So this is for them, and it's called Gangster Poetry. I would like to put a big, fat, double platinum Jesus piece necklace around Hyperbole's neck and ask it to write a sonnet. As metaphors carry gats and bazookas blasting you in the forehead down Broadway, I roll dice with similes in the back alleys of Bowery Street and do drive-bys with personification because shit gets real. See, I'm an oral thug. Spray verses in schools, take stories from old ladies' purses and put them in poems. Aren't I a bad motherfucker? And I don't clap or snap or say preach when I like something. I just lay in the back of the poetry spot like, yeah, work. Cause I'm a gangster poet, and I got a gang, and all we wear is scarves and skinny jeans and dunk lows. I'm the 50 Cent of poetry, sign me, biatch. I woke up to the stage with mean gangster lean, talk about my swag, and all my poems and spit poetry to girls as they walking down the street like, shorty. Shorty! I got a haiku! For you! Well, fuck you then. I do bad things like go to book readings and lectures, hang out at slams and teach after school poetry workshops so that kids can be gangster just like me. We body slam verses and give each other Indian birds with imagery. Turn a chicken noodle soup from a dance to the craziest political statement ever made about food. I want them to understand the power of their words like prayers, French braided into God's to-do list. Smoke signals of hope carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders like 6-ton Tonka trucks of nouns and verbs mixing fat consonants, obese with alliteration, until rhythms get diabetic, until your migraines get headaches, because in this stage things don't have to make sense to make points, because if they can believe in it, they can write it, and if they can think it, they can rhyme it, and if they dream it and believe in it, then I know they can describe it, because expressing themselves is the baddest thing that they can do. That's what cool people do. See, some worship John Gotti and Al Capone, but we worship Nikki Giovanni and Sylvia Plath, Pablo Neruda and Yusef Komunyaky. Some watch Scarface, we watch Slim Nation. But don't get it twisted, because poets are mad hard. Yeah, I'm charged with 87 counts of telling the truth, 102 counts of endangering the English language, and 53 counts of arson for setting a house on fire. But as a acquitted of all charges and released from the prisons of conformity and self-defense, I walk the streets with bruised stories in between my toes, sleptwalking a guy's diary, trying to tap into the higher me, chill out on the corners of my mind, waiting for daps of inspiration to inspire me. Got the rhythms attached like break beats to acquire equality, because poets are the illest rappers, dating back to ancient philosophers and tribal hierarchies. See, poets make Al Pacino look like Shirley Temple. Soulja Boy look like Pinocchio. So you better get with this, because we are on some next level gangsterism, where peace is our peace, trying to come up with the longest metaphors to hang from our necks, sipping some of the illest poetics, sharing moments like this that you just can't buy. So can you say exclude, glue, 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 sip, 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 sip?
She swims in her own sugar. Takes one look at a photo that reflects an ugly they do not describe, then begins frantically, drowning in a pool of salt. She is the most beautiful, ugly you will ever meet. Picture. Snapshots from a stranger. Compliments are custom. Popular by the demand of God, beautiful's a common word, perfect. She is not Nicki Minaj or Lil' Kim, nor Beyonce, not made out of puzzle parts, just puzzle partly, dog skin. Hair short and kinky atop a toothpick like an overused dirty mop. Cleaning up the fragments of anti-Barbie characteristics, they do not like the flame in her insecurities. She is a proud nappy, with knowledge that beauty cannot be found in the measurements of your hips. But when you barely depart your lips to expose the sea salt self-esteem, confidence can be lost in the jungle gym of your smile, and facades can be knotted up in the roots of little black girls who cling onto your reflected image, dancing on the strings of your swag as if swag were ever tightrope in the first place picture. She protects her Polaroids between clenched teeth, swallowing whole, a tarnish, tainted, circus excuse for a bottom lip, ill-performed tricks for you. you. Spit the most passionate poem to make you believe that this rusted engine is actually something admirable. I possess a cool hat for every hair out of place. The stereotype of a poet and smoker for this tint of red eye. For every blackened crescent of my lips a poem. For each chipped or twisted tooth, my flaws come equipped with walking sticks and pimp coats. Fans call me humble. I have fans, y'all. And they call me humble. Maybe because I only acquire enough confidence for two-word sentences like thank you and too kind, and I smile wild with the mouth sealed shut like Sealy. For this reason, everyone thought Sealy was sweet and too kind. I wonder what would happen if they give a hip hairdo and a microphone, but I have kissed more girls than Shook Avery has seduced men, and I possibly chased away past lovers all at the same time. Do you know what it is like to feel well-fastened and insecure all at the same time? So my stage presence is compacted with a lot of pain, and I can spit poems about my ugliest things until the audience gets sucked into my story like a second skin. Tap your wrist. Do you feel my pulse beating? This is the rhythm of a woman out of tune with her own touch. A woman out of touch with the image encapsulated in a photographic lens. Piece of plastic, online snapshot. The photographer be my homeboy and be my bully. Hit me with your hardest punch. I want to get knocked out of this feeling, this incompletion, this insatisfaction with God's creation. Do not shun me, Father. I do not blame you. Only me for once pretending to be the bad girl, the villain in my hometown of Camden, New Jersey, aka the city of Gotham. And although my fight is not comparable to the Joker's, his drive of insecurities ain't have nothing on me. But as you recall, I left my makeup and costume back in that land of bad habits. So the next time I pass the mirror, a thick-set piece of glass may only be for one purpose, y'all. To slit the wrist of every insecure character I've once played. For the purpose of feeling that much more whole in my imperfections. Besides, ain't nothing cooler than when your flaws actually walk with a limp.